The Gifts of Resurrection. Blessings, beloved Light Tribe. It is written into our golden human DNA, the quest for self-realization, ascension, and reunification with Source. Creation is an extraordinary story, and it is our own. A universal, galactic, solar template, a source beingness fractalized for our experience, laid out by our higher levels for our discovery and participation. As above, so below is reflected in every aspect of this universe. The incarnate self reflects the external activity until we awaken and begin the ascension process. Then we begin to reflect the higher self activity. This reflection expands as the consciousness ascends, reflecting higher and higher aspects of the multidimensional self. The multidimensional self model reflects the multidimensional universe, or Source as Self, the divine cosmic quest for complete self-realization. In the resurrection phase of ascension, we release old trajectories of our grounded path in order to transform our consciousness, a deeper phase of the merge of higher and lower self. Earlier phases of ascension feel like preparation for this step. Everything that is learned becomes a foundational platform to stabilize the consciousness as you enter this sacred immersion of mastery. Modern minds tend to cling to or seek something familiar in order to make sense of the process. This is part of the mastery challenge, acquiring and applying what has been learned, then surrendering it for the new experience. Not everything will be abandoned. Applicable lessons, skills, teachings, tools, methods, and wisdom are carried forward. However, in the resurrection phase of becoming a conduit for a vastly higher level of consciousness, the earlier steps are transmuted into something brand new. This is the challenging part for many. The journey to this point is necessary, absolutely unavoidable if one seeks to attain self-realization. When one arrives at resurrection, fully prepared and willing to move forward, the consciousness must be open to a complete change in trajectory. It is difficult when so much has been surrendered already, and the lower levels will attempt to associate the new experience with what happened in the past. During the shift, the collective will consistently default to the familiar, to what is known, in order to make sense of the unknown. It is imperative to let the doubts fall away, to hush the external, to hush the mind, to focus completely on the source emerging within. In order for that vibration to be held within many incarnate forms simultaneously, the resurrection must take place in thousands upon the planet to transform the noosphere and the human heart grid. It transforms the cosmic templates of the past, the way in which mastery was attained, the belief systems associated with it, the perceptions of what was, the religions built on old foundations. All of that crumbles in the new light. For those transmuting the galactic Akasha, the intensity of galactic forgiveness shatters the lower levels of consciousness. It is a purging at the oversoul level which ripples through grounded conduits in service. All of the galactic experimentation and attempts to create a path for source and form, all of the outcomes, good and bad, which arose from those creations, will now be owned and operated by ascended divine humans. The experience of this is very raw, unmistakable. You know what is occurring and are willing to do it. It feels like our worlds are being torn apart, blown apart by the impact of the new. Regardless of how strong one is in their devotion to service, to the larger mission, the incarnate intensity of this experience reverberates through the dimensions like a galactic clarion call of "It is accomplished." This is where we are right now, beloveds. Your galactic masters in form are performing this task in density, incarnate form, which feels like a slow motion resurrection phase to the lower levels, in order to create a brand new path of ascension. It has been unfolding for months. Light will begin to enter the cave mid-November. However, the resurrection phase continues for that portion of the light tribe, this initiate portion of the light tribe, through the end of the year. All of us in service pray and feel that this will never have to be experienced again by the rest of the tribe. We are assured it will be completed on behalf of all, and that in itself gives us strength in this most bizarre and magnificent phase of our path. Understand that the multidimensional aspect of it provides passages of great elation, absolute divinity and unification, pure experiences of the Christ emergence, as well as moments which deeply challenge the psyche. Faith-based ascension on a planet encountering a dimensional shift is extraordinary. It is unique. That clearer, higher perspective keeps us in alignment, and it dispels all of the doubts as the old consciousness fades away. A conversation on conversation. Our communication must change within the light tribe. It is recommended we begin wayshowing the new communication now, since the light tribe itself is taking on such diverse states of consciousness. It is purposeful, beloveds. It feels like we're being divided, but it is purposeful. The light tribe is responsible for demonstrating patience, enthusiasm, and support for all levels of ascending consciousness. This applies to each other as well as other races engaged in learning by observation. Many of you are exposed to that. Many of you are very aware and are teaching at that level. Mastery is not about control or egoic stereotypes of an all-knowing beingness. It is a state of divine consciousness expressed in unique ways. To honor all quests for expansion is to be in your mastery. To honor experiences which are unfamiliar and accept them as unfamiliar to you is mastery. To love, not to judge. In resurrection, deep truths are revealed and the veils lift on a vastly different experience. It is wise not to assume all is the same as your own truth. We have 7 billion experiences of truth running on the planet. It is wise not to assume that all is the same, or to associate what is unfolding with earlier phases of the path. Compare it to speaking with loved ones who are caught in the density. We have all had this experience. We love them immensely. However, the mismatch can be disturbing, even heartbreaking when the light cannot break through their self-imposed veils. Compare it to that. Be kind and practice listening, the divine patience of mastery, if others' experiences are triggering you to default to old programs of assumption. It used to be human nature to connect unfamiliar things with something familiar in order to make sense of it. Dogma can destroy the new light within you. Let go. Many of this may not make sense for a while or until you have the experience yourself. Humans used to accept change only at the rate they could experience it. Unity consciousness demands a much broader perspective. Let us expand right within our own light tribe so we may accelerate this process for everyone choosing to ascend. Blessings upon this sacred endeavor and our ability to persist and embody the new.